He was totally different when you met him during the daytime now, when he was up in the quarry working to the stone. He was still had a sort of a nervous disposition, and he was sort of talking and working, but he was an excellent craftsman. You know, see him opening the stone and putting the chisel under it and tapping it with the hammer and get the straight line. You know, he was quite good at that work. Micho never got involved with it. Packie did and Gussie did, but Micho sort of didn't. Micho just to mess around, you know, doing the hay, and she had a cow and that sort of stuff. Did a bit of the farm work. The two lads were good stone masons. Gussie used to sell a little bit of stone to people for doing fireplaces or small little jobs, you know. They were never driven by, you know, profit, I suppose. And I suppose drink was a fairly part of it too, you know. It's the pub and the excitement of the pub and meeting people. It was very social. And Micho's mother didn't like him at night time at all. He used to have to sort of sneak out sometimes, tend to go to bed. Well on in life, she'd think he was gone to the room, but he'd be gone out the window and down to the pub. So there wasn't much. But she was afraid that he'd go astray, I suppose. You know, mothers have those fears. Yeah, well, it goes back to the storytelling as well. The nights in people's houses, and you know, the likes of Stefan or Heller, where people would gather and listen to stories for hours. There was a big buzz in that too. You know, being in the company of other people and having a shanachie telling you a big long story. It'd be similar to what goes on nowadays, where you've got some good musicians, you've got people coming and listening to them. There's a buzz in that, to be in that sort of it. It's a creative atmosphere, really. Whether it's creating stories with words or creating some sort of beautiful thing with music. There's something in it. And you know, John Kelly used to say music comes from, you know, getting wet in the bog and hard work. And I can sort of understand that. You do all that stuff, and then to counteract that, to lift your spirit, music does it. For some people, it could be other stuff, maybe religion or something, or whatever. The hobby, you know, some way to elevate the spirit, but you have to get through the humdrum drudgery of earning your crust and keeping yourself warm and, you know, raising a family. But then you can have a little bit of a lift from the music. So definitely, I'd call it a spiritual activity, really. You know, when you're feeling good and the tunes are going nice. I remember sometimes you feel totally elevated if you got musicians playing with you there, listening and playing along with you. It's a great feeling. There's people who get it with dancing as well. You see people in set dancing, especially, or mostly set dancing. When you've got four couples on the floor, and it transcends the ordinary life. It comes to a different level. And then all of a sudden the set's over. Reality rears its ugly head again, and that's what it is, I think. And it was alive in Doolin. You know, it was in the city now in Dublin. It was a sort of a listening thing, and the chieftains and Kyotori Coolin before them brought it to a listening audience on a stage. People sat down and listened. But in Doolin, it was part of the way of life. And if it wasn't perfect, or if it wasn't as, you know, totally tight as other musicians, that wasn't the reason for it. The reason for it was to sort of give rhythm to dances. When you hear Micho playing, you know, his playing of the repeal of the uilleann. Everything is really, really rhythmic. I look at Bobby Gardner, came from the same crucible. You hear his music, it's so rhythmic. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but you can get people that will learn from tapes and they get all the ornamentation, but they haven't got the try the rhythm. Dancers wouldn't feel like they wanted to get up and dance to it because the rhythm has been sacrificed for the cleverness.